Let's get it. Mark and Will, yeah. Mark and Will, yeah. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to another great episode of the Mark and Will Show. And, of course, you got your favorite two hosts of the most, Mark and Will. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing? You doing all right?
What's going on? Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, man, it's Wednesday. It's been a whirlwind with all these great interviews. And, yes, we're not tricking you. We do have our regular thing, but we have a special guest tonight.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to be rocking and rolling. But, man, how was your day, man?
It was smooth, productive. Went to the office. Had to come home, rest a little bit before I go to the job tomorrow. You know how that is.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta use your coping skills. You gotta use all that kind of stuff. You gotta get your mind together, especially when you've been off and things like that. I mean, I'm with you. I understand. Tuesday was so hard, bro. Tuesday was so hard for me to go back to work. I'm not even gonna lie. I was just, and I think what helped me out was like, man, you only got 4 work days. Like, calm down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, hey, I can't complain, man. Good Lord woke me up, so I'm good with that, man, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Had a great interview yesterday.
Yes.
Along with that, that kind of stuff like that. So, that energized. We got a nice one today, and we're gonna round it out tomorrow with another one. So, Hey, going hard, baby, without a doubt. So, hey, real quick, how was the game yesterday?
It was good. Good team win for PRP to beat Doss. Keith does Keith things. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear that name every week. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just impressed with Jake, how he stepped up, you know what I'm saying, and scored his little points, stuff like that. Go need him. Go need that big body, man, to help them out. But great team win. I'm proud of them. J-Town Friday.
Woo, that's what I'm talking about. But they best players at Trinity now, so that's, but a lot of stuff done changed. All right, let's go on to this. Let's do this. Hey, guys, we told you we got a special guest, Derek Naylor. Quadruple Coverage has joined us, and I'm gonna tell you what. If you have not followed him, he's a must follow. He definitely, man. He covers Garrett County, Lincoln County, Danville, Boyle County, all that stuff. Hey, I'm telling you, nothing but hitters right here. Hey, Derek, how you doing?
All right tonight. How's it going, fellas?
Hey, man, we're doing well. And we just happy that you joining us tonight, for real.
Right.
I'm happy to be here. A little nervous, but happy.
Hey, man, you in great hands. You're the best. You're the best hands in state. So you good.
One of my friends on Facebook, he trying to encourage me. He's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry." He's like, "You'll be nervous first couple times." I bombed. I'm like, "Oh really? Thanks for trying to be good, but daggone, man, come on. I'll paste the hole in this floor tonight."
I know that's right. So, could you please explain to everybody what is Quadruple Coverage and basically what do you do and all that kind of stuff?
It's really just an effort by myself to shine a light on a lot of kids that I feel like get overlooked. I grew up in the era, at that time, Danville was the powerhouse, and there was great athletes in this area, and it just seemed like the promotion was different in the city, Louisville, Lexington. Those kids got different opportunities. And sometimes I'd be watching games, and I'm like, well, there's a kid back home that can do that.
Right.
They just don't nobody know about it. So, my dad, he reffed and umpired for 28 years. So I kind of always been in sports. I just wanted to do something that felt like I could benefit the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and this worked out. It really just took off. I was really surprised how because I actually started, I got COVID. I was kind of, stir crazy. And
Right.
I was like, I just started writing down ideas, made the logo,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just took off from there. Just amazing support from people, because I think there's definitely a need for that. People don't get enough from the 5 minute local news.
You get
Don't get enough.
y'all get 5 in down there because we don't even get 5. I think we get 30 seconds.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah. We don't get. I think it was growing up. I always tried to be home by 11:27 because
Right.
that's when it started, and by 11:29 it was over. So and they covered the whole state in a minute and a half.
Right.
So.
Right.
But I just felt like there's a need for it. It's definitely changing as far as the way media works and stuff. Because one time when I met the guys from 12th Region Podcast, those are great guys. I really like those guys. They wanted to meet me at the game, and he comes up to me. He was like, "You quadruple coverage?" I was like, "Well, I've been called worse. Yeah, I guess I am." So just kind of roll with it, man. And as long as it benefits the kids, I'm all for it. I show up in the cold, whatever I got to do.
Right. Well, you know what, man? I'll tell you what. Like I said, you do a hell of a job, and we appreciate you and your support and everything you do because it allow us to know about the different schools.
Right.
It's like you said, everybody
Right.
talk about the Louisville or the Lexington or the Bowling Green stuff like that, but it's plenty of great players everywhere. So why not talk about them? So
Right.
and that's
Get
the
these
whole.
guys out there. Because there's great athletes. You don't have to go to Florida to get speed.
Right.
And that's always
Yeah.
what you hear in college recruiting. Oh, they Florida, Texas. We got talent too now.
Right,
So,
right, without a doubt. So look, we want to give you a chance to break down the 4 schools that you cover, man. So the floor is yours.
okay, all right. I'll start with Garrett because that's where I'm from.
Okay.
Uh, they went back this year. It's a rebuilding year. They have a lot of young players. They brought back a young coach, Spencer. He actually went to Lincoln last year. He played here. His brother played here. His dad played here. They just entrenched in Garrett football.
Mm-hmm.
So they're invested. They're 10 toes down. They're
Right.
going to make a change. They see what needs to happen, and they definitely willing to put in the work. They got a great assistant, Coach Hester. He played here, went on and played at Morehead State at the same time. Phil Sims played there.
Oh wow.
Played at Morehead. Yeah, and then he went on. He was on the Boyle County staff for years in the Chuck Smith era.
Okay.
He was on that staff when they was winning 4 or 5 in a row, and he was on that. And he went to center, and now he's back home. And I can't tell you how happy I am to see Coach. He's just a lifelong Garrett Canyon, and you want people like that involved in the program.
Right. Right. But let me ask you this before you go to the next one. Let me ask you this: who are some of the stand out for Garrett?
Man, they got a lot of young. Almost every skill position player is young. I'll start with the quarterback, Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
He's a young kid. The kid played to a torn MCL. He tore his MCL in the first half against Macquarie Central. I seen him at halftime, and he kind of looked like something was on his mind. But he went out there, played, got us our first win of the year. Come to find out, after the game, he tore his MCL. He played through it, though. Second half. He's a young kid. We got 2 great backs. We got like a more power back in Malachi Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of a between the tackles kind of guy. And then we got another guy, a Cam Peak. He's the other running back, and he kind of complements that good. He's the home run hitter.
Right.
He's the guy that get him to the edge, and And then we got one of the just a Swiss Army knife in Hayden Edelman. This kid does it all. He was called on to play quarterback, running back, receiver. He holds on the extra points and starting safety, returns kicks, and returns punts. I mean, you can't do much more in a football game.
That's everything. Did he sell popcorn? Did he sell the popcorn at halftime?
Man,
he
didn't, he could have. And the funny thing about that kid, he didn't start playing football, if I'm not mistaken, to his 8th grade year.
Oh, wow.
So the potential for this group is through the roof. In small towns like this, it's more about it comes in waves.
Right.
You know, it's hard to build the talent pool to where it's able to sustain itself. You know, so it's like you got a group that come up through middle school together, playing together, and then by the time they get to high school, they have success. That's kind of the way it's gone here. Now, I think Spencer can build it though. You know, I think he can build it. He's a young coach that kids, you know, he's young enough they're going to listen to. They're going to follow him. You know, and then he's got some like I said, Coach Hester, that he's just a firecracker. I mean, he could fire up an Eskimo. You know,
that's what I'm talking about.
He may. I mean, whatever he's eating for breakfast, there may or may not be gunpowder on it. I mean, he's that kind of individual. Yeah. But yeah, they're young. They had a rough year, but they really to be as young as they were, they overachieved. You know, this year. I think next year they're in a tough district. We're in a district with Bell.
Okay.
And that's a program that can sustain that, you know, level of talent where we got to work our way up to that and kind of be all in when we got a good group, you know.
Right.
But I think, you know, we're definitely that program is definitely on the rise and definitely in the right hands.
Okay. How about Lincoln? Let us know about Lincoln County.
It's a lot of the same. They got a hometown guy that's come back. His dad coached at Lincoln County. They're super young. They have a quarterback, Sawyer Horton. This kid's got an arm. And the bad thing about it, they actually got two. They got another kid that's a freshman, Brennan Hazlitt, and he's got a huge arm. So I think Sawyer, he's a junior this year, so he'll be a senior. So they'll kind of pass the torch to each other.
Right.
But as far as quarterback, they got, you know, they need to kind of fill in around it. You know, I think Coach Jaggers would admit it wasn't the year he was hoping for, you know, but at the same time, I think he's seen a lot of stuff that he can build on going forward. They never quit. You know, a lot of times they had every excuse to, you know, you down 48 on the road.
Right.
In the rain, it's easy to fold it up and get on back on the bus, but they never did that, you know, and that's definitely something to build on. You know, the effort is there.
Yeah, you definitely got to have effort. You got to play with it and never give up. So now you're definitely right with
absolutely right.
I think Lincoln and Garrett are very, very similar as far as young talent. They got homegrown guys leading the program, and I think they're in the right hands.
Derek, let me ask you this: what class is Garrett and what class is Lincoln?
Now, see, that's Lincoln's problem. They're either they're like 4 or 5A, you know. So when they have a down year, the level of competition is so high, that you know they'll have a year like that. If you don't, you know, you're trying to rebuild. It's not a good. And now Garrett's 3A, which is still probably a class higher than I would like to see them.
Okay.
You know, they claim it's based on number of male students, and at one point a few years ago we was in the same district as Boyle, and I had no idea how that happened. I mean, there's no way they had the male count couldn't have been close. It just couldn't have been.
Right.
You know? So thank God we don't got to play them no more. I can cheer for both of them.
You know? Right. And I understand that. Let's hit Danville. What about
Danville's
we definitely know about one of those guys at Danville. So
boy, yeah. And man, they're loaded. But they, just to be totally honest, they lost a lot of community trust when they fired Clay Clevenger.
Okay.
Clay had been to a state championship, and then he had kind of like, I think he would be the first to say by his own stand, not the year he was hoping for, you know. And for some reason, may have been more than football, they let him go. And they went and got a guy that, you know, it just wasn't a good fit. That's the easiest way I could say it. You know, you're doing, you know, Danville, is the city kids.
Right.
You got to be able, they got to be able to respect you, and they need to know you care. Now if the kids know you care, they'll let you coach them.
Right.
And I don't think he ever built that trust with them. And when I went to a Danville game this year, it honestly made me sad because I grew up in the '90s when they was winning state title after they was what Boyle County is now.
Right.
In the '90s, that was what Danville was in 2000.
And you know what, Derek, you're so right, because actually I graduated '92 and things like that in Mail. So Danville has always been, to me, known as a powerhouse. So yeah, you're right.
And it's just, man, I can remember Daddy taking me to games and us having to park across the road and walk to Admiral State. Well, this year you could have pulled up on the field if you wanted to. I mean, it was sad, and now they're at a point to where they got a coaching search. What I've heard is they got 50 candidates.
Okay.
I think they could kill two birds with one stone if they brought back they fired Clay. 18 months after they fired him, they come out, put a statement out, says, well, we messed up. Well, this water under the bridge now. The man's gone,
Right.
I think they could gain the trust of the community back. Just because if you go get him, you're saying, hey, we messed up. We know it. We're trying to fix it.
Right.
There's a lot of other guys mentioned it for that job, but Danville's at a point now they got to get it right. You got a team across town. I don't even know why they schedule Boyle County anymore. It's not a rivalry anymore. It's little brother, big brother.
Right.
And Danville needs to focus on getting back to being Danville. And then we'll worry about having a rivalry with a school that's 2 classes above you anyway. You really should probably be trying to copy what they're doing, and that's another thing. I hope I get to a time to where if you ain't playing each other, these schools we talking about, man, they're 10, 15 miles apart at the most.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we can get to a point to where if your school ain't playing each other, go support them.
Right.
Support them. They're not in your class. They're not in your district. I don't see why. It's like me, I cheer for everybody. I got to.
Right.
My heart's in Garrett County, always will be. But you gotta give everybody a shot. So
that's true.
Yeah, and then Boyle County, that's my.
Wait a minute, check it out though. Go ahead. Can you tell us about I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. Demario Brown.
Demario Brown. Yeah, man, the kid's a stud, man. I mean, he is a freak athlete. He come out of the gym last week. He announced he was playing basketball. He grabbed a basketball, took off like 2 dribbles from the 3-point line and flushed it. That's how he announced he was playing basketball this year. That's the kind of athlete we're talking about. I mean, he's special now, and that's another. I think Danville owes it to him, because he carried Danville football. They owe it to that kid to get it right. He's too special to have, because a lot of times, the kid, he led the 2A in rushing this year.
Right.
But other than me, the school did very little to promote.
Wow.
And maybe that's because the program was in, not in the best of places. Halfway through the year, there was rumors of him being fired. So it never really got on a stable footing,
Okay.
And because of that, Demario flew more under the radar than he should have. More people should have known about him.
He had a hell of a season. Yeah, he was.
Hell of a season.
Right.
And that's not easy to do when you go into the game and you're the guy they're trying to take away every week. So it got to the point to where they just had to line him up at quarterback and just put him back there. You know
what? And I was going to ask you that because I didn't think he played it at the beginning, and then all of a sudden I noticed that I'm seeing quarterback stuff and all that, all that kind of things like that. Which, hey, it's smart. Give him a chance. Give him a fighting chance.
Yeah, and if your line is, by the time you make that quarterback running back exchange, a lot of times he was swarmed.
Right.
When he could get the snap, he had a chance to look and see and create. He's special now. He's special.
What
Campbell's
grade
got a
is
lot.
he? What grade is he?
Oh, I think he's sophomore. I think. Yeah, he'll be a junior next year. I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sophomore. Yeah, he's young.
Yeah, I hope he gets.
Campbell's got a lot of kids like that. They got another running back, Braden Boffin. If they can find a quarterback where Amari can play running back, and not, just have to run QB draw, and just
Right.
make something happen, if they can find a quarterback, because you got to have somebody get it to them. You got the best
Right.
skill guys in the world.
You
You
got-
can't throw it to them, they ain't gonna do you much good. And I think they definitely need to find a quarterback. He could do it. I mean, he done it this year, but I think more naturally he's a running back. I think.
Okay, that's cool. So let's go on and get to my team, Boyle County. What's going on?
The gold standard.
Yeah, what's up with
The
them?
gold standard. Man, it's hard not to like these guys. They're like I compare them to the New England Patriots. They keep winning. Nobody wants them to win, but
Right.
outside their little fan base, but they just keep winning. And I'm a Boyle County fan, and when some of the injuries start to pile up this year, I'm like,
Right.
But to their credit, and the coaching staff echoed this a lot. They wasn't going to change the standard because somebody got hurt.
Right.
The standard is the standard. They didn't all of a sudden say, well, we got, starting offensive linemen, starting receivers, starting corner out. Maybe if we just win the district this year, it'll be all right.
Right.
No. They play for rings over there, and that's it. And, I mean, there's a speech of Coach Haddock's talking to the guys. And he's like, if you want to be remembered at Boyle County, you got to win a state championship. There just ain't no way around it. You got to get your name on this. You got to get your class on the stadium if you want to be remembered. And the funny thing, I did a little story last week. You all hear about the stars, but the kids came in. I work part time at a store right across from the field, so I seen a lot of the kids a lot. And there was this one kid. He come in. His name's John Turpin. Y'all probably seen the post from last week.
Right.
So the kid's talking to me. He's a senior. Never gonna play. At this point, was just a practice play.
Right.
So he's talking to me about the pride he takes in giving 100% to get the starters ready. That's hard to do.
Yes, sir.
That's hard to do. It's easy to get the guy that's getting the ball 40 times a game. Of course, he gonna buy in. Can you get the guy that ain't gonna play? Can you get him to buy in? And that kid was, and I looked up the other night, and there he was starting in the regional championship against Lexington Catholic. And that's just the way they roll. Nobody and lived on the other side of the line all night. I was so proud of that kid. I had to mention him.
No.
It's just one of those things. They just a class act, man. All the way around. I had a picture last week. They went through the handshake line, and two Louisville Central players was hugging each other. They was down,
Yep.
And I see the Boyle County coach see him. He walked straight over to him. I mean, that's just a class act. He done been through the handshake line. He could have went and celebrated with his guys.
Right.
But those guys Cortez Stone was one of them.
Yeah. Bad boy.
Yeah.
Was that Travis or Bobby? Which which one was that?
Travis. Yeah,
No.
Travis.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I told one of the assistant coaches. I know a lot of the coaches talk to them when they come in the store. For some reason, I'm lightweight terrified of Travis LeFew. I don't know why. Like when I took that picture of him, I thought, is he gonna scream? Is he gonna tell me put that camera down? And look, I never thought that he's probably the nicest guy ever. But every time I see him, it's like right before the game, and he's an intense looking individual. And I was like, what I don't want to do is end up on the wrong side of Travis LeFew.
Right.
But no, they're the nicest guys. Just Coach Haddock's one day. One of them come in. I had my Gary County shirt on, and it's right across from the stadium. And Dion was like, "You're on the wrong side of town. Be wearing them colors." So I was telling Coach Haddock the story, and the next day he's like, "I got you," and he shows up to the store, brings me a T-shirt.
Right.
It's stuff like that. I don't never ask for credit, But it's stuff like that that lets me know that, hey, I'm shining a little light on the
Yes.
program.
Yeah.
They got a lot of different guys that do great stuff for the school, but if you're talking elite program, if you're not talking about Boyle County, you're just off the mark. And I think a lot of schools get caught up in hating on instead of trying to duplicate it's okay to duplicate success. There ain't nothing
Right.
wrong with that.
Right.
If it works, it works. Now there's something over there where they can get kids to buy in. I think that's the difference. And them and everybody, it's just the buy-in of the guys that from middle school, all they think about is playing at Boyle County on Friday night. It's a big deal to them.
That's what it's
And
about.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I enjoy. I really think they're head and shoulders above the programs around here as far as what they do, the platform they give the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all about family. You can tell when you see them kids together, they really like each other. When they used to come into the store, it's like they would be hanging out regardless. It's just that kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a difference, man. When you buy in and you're not like you say, like your brothers, and and it makes a difference. And you're right. Going back on that, if somebody's got a blueprint to be successful, you can always tweak it. But but
Right.
still,
Put your own spin on it.
yeah. But you know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So, hey,
Right. There's got to be basics. You can do the basics and put your own spin on it.
right,
It's never going to be the same, but yeah, I don't know. They built something pretty special over there. And yeah, I remember this year, I thought when Coach Haddix, he took the job 3 years ago. And I remember thinking, dang, that's like, what they always say about following a legend,
right,
everybody before him has won state championship. Man, this guy come in and he ain't not won a state championship yet,
right.
So they just do a good job when they do coach it. They don't no drop off,
Right.
they just
That's a heck of a program. Like
yeah.
So hey, let's go on and get into. We got some games Friday. We got some games Saturday. Championship weekend, pretty much. So let's go on and get into this first one right here. Class A championship game. Pikeville 11-2 versus Raceland 13-1.
Right. What I got is Pikeville. They started the year at 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Corbin, the team that Boyle County's playing in the 4A
Right.
title game. And then they lost to Covington Catholic. And that's another powerhouse. They was in the KSR rankings all year.
Right.
And that's a total class deal. But Cov Cath was in the rankings a lot of year. And since them two losses, they've not been beat.
Right.
Not only have they not been beat, their average margin of victory is 39.2 points.
Ooh.
So they're winning games by 40. And that's continued through the playoffs. So that's the one thing that worries me about Pikeville. I do think they'll win, but they've not been tested. So if they find themselves in a football game late in the fourth quarter, they're not going to have much experience to draw from.
Right.
They're going to be in unfamiliar territory, So, and man, I don't know if you guys ever seen. They're a 1A school, Pikeville. They had a post, I think it was on Facebook, of their facilities. My God.
Yeah.
They look like something out of the SEC.
Right.
It was their Jordan brand, but
Right.
the locker room, I was like,
Well,
one of y'all,
the thing
one
about
of they alumni done hit that Powerball or something, man.
well, Pikeville used to be I ain't gonna say used to, a powerhouse too. Like they were always winning things like that too.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you're winning like that, man, and you see their facilities and like you said, a Nike, all kinds of stuff, like, hey, that you there. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
And you make a great point because basically, sometimes you like to have a little close game, a little something to draw upon because when you get here, now you playing Raceland 13-1. We got the reigning player of the week, the national player of the week, the offensive player of the week. They loaded like that. It should be a very interesting game. Very.
it should be a lot of points scored. A lot of points scored. That's the thing. I think Pikes will get it done, though. I do. But like you said, man, pressure bust pipes. You find yourself in the, and that's the thing about these first, even the 2A, is much of the same. If you look at Mayfield and Beechwood, well, they ain't been tested in a long time. They beat both of them teams is undefeated. It's a lot of the same with them. They beat up on everybody, and now we're gonna the Mayfield thing. I kind of like. That's where the tornado hit. It's a
Right.
Cinderella story. It's almost like now here you are undefeated. So I kind of, for sentimental reasons, I'm gonna roll with Mayfield on that.
Yeah. You hit home, and the thing about it is, when you get in these big games like this, you can't play through emotions. I've seen
Right.
before.
Right.
I've seen a lot of powerhouse teams that was favored to come in there, and they get rattled, and that's it. You play
Right.
another good team. That team got there. No matter if you played them before or whatever, you have to be focused, locked in. If something don't go your way, you can't get rattled, and then all of a sudden now it's us against not just the team, all the referees at it against us. Well, I mean,
and then it turns into you against you.
right.
Because you can't get out of your own head, to do what you want to do, And I seen a stat since 2010, these two schools have won 10 state titles.
Right.
That's all but 2 years, So within 2A, within the last 12 years, one of these two schools have won 10 of them. I'm like,
that's nice.
And this was the teams that Danville battled with back in the 90s that we, and now Danville's kind of, but they're still there. They're still there doing it.
Hey, they'll bounce back, buddy. They'll get it together, though. They'll get it together.
Yeah, I like to, man, I knew what it was. I seen it when it's at its height,
Right.
It's kind of like the old car you park in the backyard. You remember its glory, but it's far from it now.
So the last game, I think the last game on Friday, they got it all. Yeah, the last game, Boyle County versus Corbin County. I mean Corbin. What do you think about this game? You definitely know Boyle County. Corbin, undefeated. What's the deal? What is the? Let me ask you this before we go ahead. Who you pick and things like that. What does Boyle County have to do to win this game?
Boyle and Corbin are the closest carbon copies of each other that you'll see play each other. They're physical on the offensive and defensive line. That's what both of them are built on. They want to run the ball, and then they're going to take some shots on you. That's just what they do. I think one of the things I've noticed when I was looking at this game, Bull's strength of schedule is, man, they played Bowling Green, which is in the state title game. They played Douglas. Now the Douglas game didn't go like they wanted it, but they played them. And a lot of the teams that they played, we beat Brown Station pretty handily earlier in the year, and they had a nice run. Henderson County was a good team. Like, they played some good teams, and I was looking at Corbin's schedule. I just don't know if they played the caliber. They're just as good as Boyle. They can beat Boyle on any given night. I think it's going to come down to who makes that mistake, who puts the ball on the ground. It's going to be that kind. It's that close that something like that. And they kind of mirror each other as far as skill position. The one difference in the game is 9. Is 9. Quisenberry is different. And that's the one thing that Boyle has that Corbin can't match.
Right.
And then Corbin, the one thing that could be a difference in this game, Corbin's got a kicker that's good from 50.
Yes.
That's huge. And high school football, that's huge.
Yes.
When and he's money. So that could be a big factor in that game. Now Boyd's got a good kicker too. Cole Andrews is good,
Uh-huh.
but not from that kind of distance.
Right.
Not 50.
We actually
But,
we,
he's
we
got
actually
good
had a
legs.
little birdie. We actually had a little birdie tell us about Corbin kicker. So yeah, should be real good. And
Yeah, those are Haddock's Bulls coach come from Corbin.
okay,
That's where he
okay,
that's where he comes from. Those you heard the back that they're. I just don't think that there's. You hear the thing that him and the coach now was Haddock's defensive coordinator when he was at Corbin. Haddock's ran the offense. He ran the defense. I think is the way it worked.
okay.
And I don't think I from listening to them talk this week, they both been on different shows. I just don't see it. I just think they're two competitive guys that just want to win.
Right.
And I'm sure they wouldn't nothing make them happier than to beat each other. But that's okay. I mean, you can want to beat somebody and not dislike them.
Right.
I think that's where they're at. Haddocks don't want to leave Lexington without that 3-peat, and
Right.
they don't want to leave Lexington without that perfect season.
Right.
Something's gonna give.
So check it out, Derek. Give us a score on this one.
35-24.
We ain't even got it. We don't even got to ask who you got. We already know.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep at night, and I don't think I could show up at Kroger Field.
Or you can go back to the job at the store or whatever across the street.
I told somebody, I said, Boyle County's kind of like adopted me as a stepson. They
Right.
probably put me back up for adoption after that. If I pick Corbin, I'd find myself back in the orphanage trying to get another school to adopt me.
Right. All right. So now we got 3A. We got Cal versus Bardstown. Undefeated records up. So you know what I'm saying? This right here should be a great game. You talking about Cole Hedge. You know what I'm saying? You got Gavin Copenhagen. You got Ty on Bardstown.
Yeah, that's the running back from Bardstown, right? The
Yes.
running back?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about the quarterback from Louisville Christian?
Oh, yeah. Cole Hedge, yeah, he's special.
45 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's a heck of, whew.
Yes.
That's
putting up monster numbers. He put up monster numbers, yes. The crazy thing is that he didn't play a lot of quarters because they was people out.
So, blowout. Right. You get a lot of that with the Boyle County. They was trying to, compare tackles and stuff like that. And they was comparing tackles. The Tommy Ziesmer got left off one of the lists, and he was a DN, but they was comparing overall tackles to an inside linebacker. Well, you never grade a DN you never expect a DN to be a volume tackler.
No.
He's set the edge, put pressure on the quarterback. His impact's going to be measured in sacks,
right.
Things like that. And Tommy had 9 sacks. The other kid had 1. So, he's just dominant. Plus,
right.
They get him out, third quarter, he was out. And a lot of people don't know it, but he plays offensive line too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But
yeah.
Well, so have you seen the kid from Bardstown, the running back? I just seen a couple of clips of him.
I just seen clips. I have not seen him, of course, face to face and not in person, but I've seen clips, and he's nice. He's special. Nice. He is special. I think this game, to me, I think that Bardstown, to me, it could be a track meet, and because Cal would love to put up 50.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Bardstown, even though they put up 66 like that, so we're gonna see. To me, I think it's similar as far as they both like to score points. We're gonna see who's going to play defense.
Do they do it in different ways though? Bardstown, they're going to hit you on the ground, right? And just it's not, they got Leak where he can hit.
Right.
He can one play take it to the house. It's not your
right. He's the home run. Yeah, he's the home run. No, you're right.
So, Yeah, I'm like you. It could turn into it's going. Man, there's a lot of big offensive in the state. It's going to be. It may turn into that in a lot of games. Who brings the defense on the
right.
bus with them? You know.
With Cal, the thing about them, they have a running game and they got a passing game. So, if you gear up to try to stop that passing, then then you're gonna open up a lot of different things. So, yeah,
right.
We'll see on that one. Bardstown, like if you know if Ty gets off, then you're in trouble. We know that. So if you're Cal, you're gonna bring that safety down or whatever, or both safeties, whatever. Like make you beat passing. So we'll see on that one though. That's definitely gonna be a fun game to watch.
So you don't think Bardstown they can't throw the ball like Cal? That's what you're telling me, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think a lot of teams in the state can throw like Cal. I think what was it? Who's that? You got the quarterback from Lexington, Jackson. Like like they offense, they slang it around and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I think Cal does that, but they got a running game to go with it. Like he runs the ball. Like the quarterback runs the ball. You got multiple running backs. Like man. It's a powerful machine.
It's a big undertaking. Right.
So that
5A.
5A, Frederick Douglass versus Bowling Green.
Woo. I hope all my boy people's turn to maybe they going to get a cookie or something. But Frederick Douglass is the best team I've seen all year. I mean, that's just. I mean, I think they can beat some small college teams, or at least give them a game. I mean, them kids are studs, man. They don't even. I mean, it's hard to beat Boyle County the way they beat them. They hit some big plays, but they were physical, man. They were physical. And the year before, Boyle County went up there and handled them pretty good.
Right.
But this year was a different story, man. And Boyle County wasn't at full strength, but that's no excuse. I don't think if they would have been at full strength, they wouldn't have won that game. And that's just being honest. Frederick Douglass is just a better team. They could have played it on Mars. It wouldn't have mattered. They did come over here and beat them like that, which is hard to do. That place is one of the more special environments you'll see on Friday night. When it's rocking, whew,
right.
They do it right.
I tell you what, Frederick Douglass and Mark can tell you. I interviewed Coach McPeak on the show, and hey man, they've been one of my favorite teams to watch and follow. And the thing, because they'll throw a 50-piece on you in a heartbeat. But what I love, like you said, they're a physical team. He plays everybody, so you won't see the stats like these other schools. And it's like you said, like a small college because they have athletes. They got skill position. They got linemen, defensive linemen, offensive linemen. Anything you want, he has it. And I love that they've been tested in the playoffs. Right? You had a 14-2 win. You had a 20-something. Like, it all wasn't 50 pieces that they were storing, right? So, they tested.
They was tested. It was tied at half, I think.
Right.
Yeah, they got tested. They're a physical bunch, man. Like I said, that was their depth of what you're speaking to. Mm-hmm. They're just – Boyle County could match them in spots. But they was just like that across the board, we could take away one of those crazy, defensive linemen, but we can't take away when you got four of them, and you got linebackers that look like, it was different. Man. I knew when I seen it, I said, whoa, I said, hey, come on, and it, like you said, they don't even have to, you don't see no guy out there getting 30, 40, it's 10 touches,
Right. He takes care of everybody plays. And I tell you what, like, see, Mark, I got to see Bowling Green up close. And I know regularly, normally they always got a great line, say offensive, defense. They got size and everything else, it's coming from Bowling Green, Kentucky. So they got some size and things like that. But I don't think they have the depth. Like, I'm not saying they can't win. I mean, anything can happen. I done seen undefeated teams. I done follow my team several times, undefeated different stuff and get up and lose. But
Right.
what I'm saying, anything can happen. But normally, Bowling Green's line is so powerful that they overpower people. It's not going to happen on
Yeah.
this.
No, that's not going to happen. Because Bull County played Douglas.
Okay.
Played Douglas and played Bowling Green at Bowling Green.
Okay.
Second or third game of the year, Bull beat them, I want to say 34-17, I think.
Mm.
And it never really was close, But I tell you what, I come away from that game impressed with Deuce Bailey.
Oh, yeah.
Woo.
Nice.
I'm standing there on Bull County's side, and me and Monteith Tavy's dad, we're standing there, and there's a guy standing there, and we get to talking to him, and it's Deuce's dad, but he's on the Bull County side. So I was like, why you standing over here? They won't be getting. He's like, nah, I'd rather hear it from them because they supposed to be like that.
Ooh.
They supposed to be. He was like, if I go sit over there, I got to listen to somebody. Well, why'd he throw it there?
Right.
Why didn't he do it? He said, I just soon sit down. I thought that was pretty interesting. I was impressed with his dad, man. His dad is a good dude.
Great. Hey, I love that. That's
good dude. And 15 years. He threw from the 20-yard line on the far hash. He threw a corner on a rope.
Ooh.
To the back pylon of the end zone. And I looked at Monteith and I don't know a lot of college guys that can make that throw. That thing had it was none of this. It was on a rope.
Right.
And I was like, and my teacher's like, I was like, you see that? He's like, he's 15, right? I said, 15?
Yeah.
I said,
young.
Grief.
But
I'm like you, I just don't know if they got, they got a good running back, but Douglas is different now, and they on a mission, and I like to see Deuce pull it off, but he's going to be up against it this week, I'm afraid,
Yeah.
But he's going to have, he'll be back, though.
Oh, yeah. He's a young, he'll be back.
He'll be back. I think eventually Douglas will find themselves in 6A, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have to.
I think so. I think they'll find themselves with the big boys for too long. They won't be because this ain't. Let's be honest.
Nah, you're right.
This just ain't that close. This is a state title game. But if you just hook me up to a lot, it just ain't that close. These two,
right.
Douglas and Bowling Green. And Bowling Green's a great team.
Right.
And that tells me that Douglas is probably out of class. They probably need to be playing with the males.
Right.
The Bullet East and those kind of things. There was a Bull connection with the Bullet East thing. Did you see that?
No, what is it?
The coach at Bullet East played at Bull.
Didn't
know that. I was going to tell you, don't worry. If they get you some Bull County gear, you might ought to hold off till after the Bullet East game to wear it.
Right. Don't want to do all that. I'm gonna let you. I'm not gonna go ahead and talk on this one because I'm gonna talk on this one tomorrow. But I'm gonna let you go ahead. We got Male High 10-4 versus Bullet East 13-1. Bullet East beat them in the regular season 24-17. At Bullet East won the district. First time winning the district. Male's been rolling with that for a minute. So what you got on this game for us, Derek?
Man, seems like Male's is almost destined at this point. After last week, the scoop and score, you're like, is this just meant to be here?
I've never seen nothing like it in my life.
You're like, is it just one of them things to where everything just line up and this is their year? And I don't know that much about Bullet East, but they just look like a physical bunch,
Right.
I didn't see a lot of, you probably see them. Do they got speed?
Yeah, you know what? They are a senior dominant team. They spread you out offense. You know what I'm saying? They about mismatches. They chuck the ball around, but they can run with it because if you sit there and play 5 to 6 DBs, that opens up a lane for Travis. You know what I'm saying? For him to go, Egan to go ahead and go off. Very
powerful back. When you DB trying to him, it's going to be a problem.
The thing about it is that if you ain't seen it, it's going to get you. I was impressed. I'm not going to lie. I was impressed with them to go down to Bryan Station and put that many points. But to beat them, you have to be physical. You can't let them run around and all. You got to chuck them. You got to do whatever.
Right.
Because if you're going to sit there and try to outscore them, you're not going to outscore them.
Right.
You got to hit them. You got to hit them.
What do you think? You thinking you boys get it done?
Well, I would say this. I'm not gonna sit down and talk about it tomorrow in real depth, but I would say this. Daniel Sweeney didn't play that game. And I don't know if you know who Daniel Sweeney is.
He's one of the main guys.
Daniel Sweeney is the running back who missed like 5 or 6 games, and he's got it, including the playoffs now. He's already got 1,000 yards rushing. Dude will run for 200 yards in a heartbeat. And so when you don't have him in your offense, and you still hanging there on the road 24-17, and you just got Max Gainey back, who Max Gainey everybody should know in the state anyway. That was his first game back. Should be very interesting.
Interesting. If they played on that tough without those two guys, you gotta like your chances if you made them.
Well, you know what? It's kind of like how you said with Boyd County, like you lose players and all this kind of stuff. I mean, no one thought that Mel would actually be back in the championship game, right? They lost so many starters that been there for the 3 years starting, stuff like that. And for Coach Wolf to able the ball roll your way, you know what I'm saying? Pun intended on that, roll your way. You got to shake your head and say, yeah, you don't want to see us again. And I'll tell you this, Bull East has a hell of a chance to win this. I mean, they're a senior dominate team and all this, so I don't want to say they don't. They definitely have that, without a doubt. But I just think this game is going to come down to Mel's defense against their offense as far as slowing them down. But the tell-all sign, if Bullet East cannot stop Daniel Sweeney, then they're in trouble.
They're in trouble. Right, yeah, because
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be big. I'm pulling for y'all. Like I said, I'm from, got boys, but the coaches from there, but shit, I'll see y'all get one, man.
Right.
I don't know him like that.
I got you. It's all good, man.
I don't know him like that. So I'll roll with the Bulldogs.
Hey, I appreciate you.
There's going to be an upset.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to be.
There's going to be an upset.
It's definitely going to be there without a doubt.
So this could be the one.
Yeah. Believe me, we'll take it. We'll take it. Hey, we're gonna do something right now that we always give before we get out of here. First of all, we want to thank you for joining us. But man, we give everybody a chance to go ahead and give thanks to whoever been in their corner. And man, the floor is yours, Dirk.
Man, I just want to thank everybody that support me. Whether you send out forwarded a post, whatever, man. It's all good. It's all about the kids, and I wouldn't be able to do this without the support. And at the end of the day, if I win, the kids win. Win-win. So I'm gonna keep doing it. I didn't think I would be doing it this long, but it seems now I almost feel like I can't provide something for the kids, so I'm gonna keep going. So
definitely keep going.
See where it goes, man.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Thank you for joining us, Dirk, man. We definitely have you back on, man. And I'm gonna tell you what. Tell your partner you didn't bomb.
I didn't bomb, man. There we go, man. Hey, one last thing.
Go ahead.
No rebels.
All right, Dirk. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, always good, bro, to get other perspectives on the show. So, man, I love that.
Absolutely.
Big time like that. So, hey. Woo! I tell you, I learned a lot. I learned a lot tonight.
Right.
So, look, we ain't even going to talk about nothing else. Tomorrow we have a PRP standout for the Lady Panthers. I'm just going to leave it like that. So, she's going to join us tomorrow. Sir. And then we'll go ahead and do the NFL and all that kind of good stuff. So, hey, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you, Derek, for giving us the knowledge where you from. We appreciate that. If you don't follow him, Quadruple Coverage, please do. He's on all the platforms. So check it out, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're going to holler at y'all. Peace.
Be good.
8 p.m. Crease. Let's get it. Mark and Will, yeah. Mark and Will, yeah. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know.